Hello everyone, welcome back to the Lynn Lowdown. Today we have on a very special guest, the Sheriff of Essex County, Kevin Coppinger. Thank you so much for coming back on the show.
Oh, it's my pleasure. It's always a great time. Appreciate the invite.
Of course. And you're a pro, you know, I'm telling you where the cameras are, and you're like, I got this. you know where everything is. It's always very impressive.
Yep, it's always fun, but a lot of memories in this studio. We've done a lot of shows over the years, and they're always good.
And you're really known, with the Lynn Police first and now the Sheriff, for your innovation. And one thing we're here to talk about is the STAR program that you began a couple of years ago. And would you be able to tell the viewers a bit about what that is and how it's been going so far?
Yep. As you know, I used to be the police chief in Lynn. I was a police officer for 32 years. But one of my frustrations as chief was we have all these different social services for folks who have issues in societal issues, particularly substance use disorders, mental illness and some other related things. And we see the constant recidivism rate. The police department and other agencies would bring people to court, prosecute them, they'd go to jail, do the time, and they would come back out of jail and go right back into the same cycle. It was just frustrating. Yeah. So, it's one of the reasons why I ran for sheriff. And so when we got up there, it took us a while to get it going because we had to get our feet wet, no pun intended. But once we got it going and we got through COVID, we finally created the STAR program. And what STAR is, we took two of our most busiest cities, Lynn and Lawrence. They're the bigger feeder agencies, cities for us. And we put together the STAR programs outside the jail. So if I could back up a little bit, when someone comes to jail now, we try to give them an individualized treatment plan. What is the root cause of their issues? Why are they here? Yeah. And again, I mentioned substance use disorder and mental illness. Those are the two main factors. So we put together a treatment plan. Mm-hmm. So while they're in jail, we'll offer them educational programs. If they don't have high school education, we can do that with Northern Essex Community College, who actually comes in and teaches in the jail. Wow. Merrimack College also does that. If they have clinical issues, psychological issues, substance use issues, anger issues, conflict issues, all those things, we have all kinds of programs to help them address those type of problems. And then we also have vocational training. We can teach them a trade. So if the inmates in jail participate in all that, when they get out, we want to make sure we continue those services, and that's where STAR comes in, supporting transition and reentry. Okay. So we opened up the two offices, one in Lynn and one in Lawrence, and I'm very glad to say we just outgrew our Lynn office this spring. We were at the third floor of the Multi-Service Center, and we just moved over to Central Avenue because it's been very successful and very accommodating to the folks that come in. And I got to give Lynn Police a little pat on the back because early on they came to us and said, "Hey, Sheriff, do we have to have people who have already been in the criminal justice system? Can they come and participate in STAR, or can we just bring them in off the street?" Bring them in. And they brought in several individuals who have done that. So we do a lot of the programs I just mentioned. Yep. We do it in the jail. We do them inside the STAR offices. We have computer labs in there. We have instructors. Northern Essex Community College comes in. Mm-hmm. And yeah, we're in North Shore Community College territory, but they partner back and forth. I agree. All the social service agencies, the healthcare agencies, they come in and they work with we call them clients once they're outside the jail. And we continue those programs to give them that second chance. And it's been very, very well received. We do a little graduation for them. They come back afterwards as peer tutors. So it's been moving along pretty good, and it just keeps growing. We're doing about 150 people a day. Wow. Last year we graduated 436. That's amazing. And to put it in perspective, today's population in the Essex County Jail and House of Correction facilities, it's 936 people. So you can see it's not quite half, but that's a lot of differences, but it's making an impact. It really is.
It is, and as you even said before we started on the show, it severely reduces recidivism for people who stay in the program, graduate from it, go on. You said it reduces it pretty significantly.
100%. Now, when I became sheriff 8.5 years ago, the population in Essex County was just shy of 1,500 inmates. Today, as I mentioned, 936. Now, I'm not going to take credit for all that. We can't. There's a lot of stuff that goes on in the community, and there's a lot of other programs outside. But we're going to take a piece of that. Of course. Those accolades. But if somebody comes to jail and they do nothing, just sit in there in that cell and just bide their time until they get out, they don't want to participate in anything, that average recidivism rate, which we count a year afterwards. We give them a year to come back to society. If they do nothing, it's about 41, 42%. If they participate in the programs that I mentioned before and continue to do good things inside the jail, it drops to about 20%. And if they continue and they go to the STAR program, we can drop it as low as 10%. that's a very, very good number, not to pat ourselves on the back, but I got great staff that do all the work. I can sit here and take all the credit for it, but we got a lot of great people that do this, but they've gotten it down to 10%. Now, it's still new, and that might go either direction, but it's a great way to start the program and keep it running in our third year.
No, it's definitely a great way to kick it off, too. And as you were mentioning, when people come to the STAR program, they do all these programs. And one thing you were talking about with me was there's going to be, you said AI and job search. You have Devin McCourty coming, who's awesome. I'm a huge Patriots fan, so I love that.
You know, we did a video chat with him back in early June, and he's going to make an appearance down here at the Lynn Star office in a couple of weeks. But it's a program called Stickball, and everybody talks about AI. You grab your phone, there's AI availability there, there's all kinds of stuff. So the Stickball folks came, and Devin's their spokesperson, and he explained it to us. It's amazing, and it's like, why not try it? And you know, in our STAR offices, we have computer labs. So a lot of our clients, they can come in and they can sit at a laptop and get the Stickball app going on there. And it'll show you different scenarios or different ways, particularly to get a job. And a real quick example is they have an app there which shows you how to do, if you want to apply for a warehouse job, maybe you don't know what it is. But I sat there, watched it. It's all self-controlled by the client. And they'll show you, okay, you want to learn, oh, how do I unload a truck, a delivery truck, or how do I load a delivery truck, or how do I stack shelves, or maybe sweep floors, whatever it might be.
Right.
They ask AI, and the AI walks them through it with these little pictures and stuff, and it's pretty cool. Then they can jump to the next stage. How do you prepare a resume? How do I do it? And then it goes to the next stop. They put them through mock interviews at a job interview. And AI talks back and forth with them, and it's amazing because whatever the client says, AI will come back with a response specific to what his or her words were, just like a real interview. It's amazing the way it does, and it's, hey, let's take advantage of AI while we got it, because it's not going anywhere. It's going to run out of lives here soon, so let's take advantage of it.
Yeah, definitely, as you said, take advantage of it. And I mean, having the mock interviews, the resume building, I know I've had that, and if you don't know how to do it, it can be a very overwhelming thing, or go like, maybe I don't have a certain kind of experience. Like, how do I learn it?
Yeah.
Right.
And having Devin McCourty, because obviously it's Patriots, and he actually said he might bring a couple other former Patriots, but it's a great sales point for us because a lot of the guys that were in jail, everybody's Patriots fans, especially the McCourty, the Brady era.
Of course, and
they're going to break, McCourty's doing this, so it's just having his name attached to it with us and have him come down here to Lynn and make an appearance is a huge selling point for us.
And you're even making an impact beyond that too. You said that there was a meeting in Boston or last year. You were just down in Fort Lauderdale. You said last month. So other departments are also starting to pick up on your lead too.
Yep, if I can just be a little bold, I'm going to tell you, in 2024, our STAR program was voted the #1 program in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts amongst all the 14 sheriff's offices in the state. And that's a huge thing. It's also great bragging rights with me from my peers, my sheriffs. But then last October, we presented on the STAR program at the International Association of Chiefs of Police Conference, which was held in Boston. And then most recently, we went down to Fort Lauderdale in June of this year, just a little over a month ago, and presented at the National Sheriff's Association Conference. And those are both major conferences. And we had our folks, and we brought Sergeant Taylor Habrick from the Lynn Police Department, because he's been so important to how we succeed here. And we've had great feedback from other sheriffs. I've had sheriffs from Houston, Texas, from Minneapolis, Minnesota, sheriff's offices from the Carolinas, and another one from Texas that are actually sending their folks up here to see how STAR works, how we put it together, and how they can duplicate it back in their communities. It's pretty neat.
That is. That's a large reach. That's countrywide reach. It's not Commonwealth. That's, you keep going with it.
It's a huge dynamic, because I mean, Massachusetts is a liberal state. We know that, and we're trying to do the right thing, at least in my opinion. In my philosophy with the inmates while they're in jail is that we can keep them busy, we keep them out of trouble. If they stay out of trouble, then our staff doesn't have to go hands-on, as we call it, and have to wrestle with them and put them on handcuffs. If you can get them to cooperate, keep them busy, keep them focused, they're just less troublesome, and that's good for everybody. Down south, it's a little bit different. There's still a lot of I'm going to say the Civil War times going on down there in some of the old counties and stuff like that, but they're actually looking at what we're doing up here in Massachusetts in general and saying, wow, maybe it's time everybody takes another look at being a little bit more proactive in their thinking about how to reduce recidivism, how we address incarceration, and it seems to be, you see it spreading across the country. It's working well.
It definitely is, having that approach of look for the root causes, try to give them options.
Yeah.
It's not just a lock them up, throw away the key kind of attitude.
100%, 100%.
I'm going to look through, go, because you talked about how you moved the new office, you talked about the START program. Was there anything else that you wanted to mention? I know those are my main points, but.
Yeah, no, one other thing we talked about, and we might have talked about last time I was here, was our medication-assisted treatment program.
Yes, I do recall that.
So we do that, so if somebody comes in that has an addiction problem, and they might be going through the old DTs, as it's commonly known, or just can't get off the meds that they're taking.
Right.
So now every inmate, when they come in, this has always been the way, they get a full medical and mental health workup when they come in, just like we may go to an annual physical to our doctors.
Right.
So now if somebody's coming in and they're detoxing, trying to get off that med, before we would just let them, they would have to go through the detox program, and we would give them comfort medication, we'd keep them under the supervision of our nursing and our medical staff. So in this last year, we've got a little bit more adventurous, and it's tough bringing some of these medications because it's a correctional facility. It's not like going to the CVS and getting your meds. It's a whole other world because drugs on the inside of a jail are huge money compared to what you can get them in CVS. But we worked with our healthcare provider and the DEA, the Drug Enforcement Administration, who regulates all this. And now we've got somebody that comes in that's detoxing, and that can be nasty. So now we can give them Suboxone, which is one of the medication-assisted treatment issues, and give them small doses to help them get through the detox. And once they get through that, we can get them right onto the MAT program if they want. It's not forced, it's obviously voluntary. But that just takes a lot of the sting of detoxing and getting off the meds before we can get them on the new path to sobriety and keep them clean.
Oh, wow.
It's working well, pretty well.
It does. You said the whole drugs correctional facility, it's great you were able to find a way to do that that's safe for everyone involved.
Yeah. And we actually got some recognition out of Washington. I know this day and age, I don't want to get into the politics with the the current and Washington administration, but on September 4th and 5th, we're hosting a small little national conference at our training center in Middleton, where 7 sheriff's officers from across the country are sending their staff here just to see how our whole MAT program operates. And the DEA has been a big sales point for us, too, to help us spread the word. But they want to come up and see how we do this and how it operates and how it's working, which is, again, a great credit to our staff because, they're the ones that do all the hard work. But that's pretty neat to see that they're looking at Massachusetts for some leadership. It is.
It's amazing that you're the front runner and you have people, you're helping teach others and maybe have it spread around a little bit.
It's working.
You said. I think that'll be really cool in a couple of months to see how that goes.
Yeah,
I'll have to get back on.
Absolutely.
Well, again, I just have to thank you so much for coming on and talking about this. I mean, you can tell just how invested you are, and it's very impressive what you've been able to do over the last few years.
Nope. Thank you so much. I always love coming here and appreciate the invite.
Of course. Thank you so much, Sheriff. And once again, I'm Danny Vittori. This has been the Lynn Lowdown, and we'll see you next week with more guests.